All right, guys, welcome to episode 188 of Open Your Toys Cast, the podcast dedicated to the four greatest action figure franchises of the 80s and all time. And those are Mr. Stark,
Transformers, G.I. Joe, Star Wars, and Masters of the Universe.
And in particular, it's May the 4th, so
Yeah.
May the 4th be with you. Oh my God. I am
excited.
What? You're super excited.
Super excited.
So I've been watching Star Wars movies all day. I haven't made it through very many of them because my nice, relaxing May the 4th has turned into going shopping, losing my sunglasses, forgetting I had items to ship to people that had bought stuff over the weekend. Then going on a walk to our post office because it's only a couple blocks from our house. And then it being the busiest day at the post office I've ever seen. The line was like out the door and down the block.
Are they doing the same? Is it, the same 6 foot in between?
Yeah.
I haven't even been to a post office ever since this whole thing started. So
yeah, ours is crazy. It's 6 foot. They have a clear, not drop cloth. It's thicker than that, but like a heavy duty clear shower curtain draped in front of them that you have to put stuff underneath. They hold the shipping box out, and that's how they get stuff and give stuff to you.
What do they think? They think like ET is back there or something? What's going on?
I don't know, but hey, more power to them. If it makes them feel better, about having to work, and of course you've got the, not that I have anything against millennials. I just use this as a age qualifier. But of course you have these young people that once you're out the door, there's no more 6 foot markings.
Right.
So they think it's stand right behind the old lady that's in front.
Why not?
Yeah,
why not?
Jesus. And no masks, of course, because they're invincible. And
I don't wear a mask.
I know,
so
you know.
I'm going to fit in that category, and I'm going to stand by it.
I know. You're going to live forever too, Lotus.
I'm not going to live forever. I die every day. I die a little bit every day.
Oh, man.
That's how I look at life. Every day, I die a little bit.
All right. Well, if you would like to kick it with us, you can do that. First up at openyourtoys.com, we've got links to the show notes up here in the upper right-hand corner. That'll take you to a page of links to everything we're talking about. You can also see the latest episode here that's been posted to YouTube that we live streamed previously. If you want to kick it with us, you can find me at facebook.com/openyourtoys, at SlickMcFavorite on Instagram, or old school email at slick@openyourtoys.com. Where can people find you, Mr. Stark?
Well, they can head over to YouTube. I was going to say YouTube. Is that something new? YouTube?
Yeah. We need to start that.
Yeah.
The urban tube.
Yeah, man. Let's go over to YouTube from YoMTV Raps and just type in Lotus Stark, and you can watch the current videos that I'm working on are animatronic restoration. So if you like robots, come on over.
Yeah, I normally don't look at numbers, and I'm that asshole that never likes or anything like that. But Rock was saying that you're getting a ton of views on your animatronic stuff.
Yeah,
so that's
people definitely seem to be interested, and it's pretty cool because it's like I said, it's something from the 80s, so it's still still something from the 80s.
See, and I gotta work on a way to prioritize my watch later list, because I caught up through 11, but now you're all the rest of them since 11. What are you on 22 or something like that?
No, I'm on 15. I mean, I'm only doing 1 or 2 per week, so it's about 1 or 2 every week. Yeah,
and I need to. They're just kind of lost in the. I have 120 videos on my watch later list because I just go through in order and say watch later, watch later, watch later, but. I need to bump you up to the top. Okay. So so I have more input when we talk.
I use a hairdryer on my latest video.
Ooh.
And conditioner.
You don't have a and conditioner.
No, I didn't have a hairdryer. No, I don't use a hairdryer. I'm a guy.
Well, no, I was going to say you don't have a heat gun.
Oh, I do have a heat gun.
I don't have a hair dryer either, but I have a heat gun.
So yeah, you cannot use on faux fur. You do not want to use heat because the faux fur fibers are at faux fur fibers. Say that fast. That they're actually made. They have acrylic in them. So if you use heat, it'll actually melt the faux fur.
Oh, so you needed like a hair dryer that just has an air setting.
Correct. And that's the whole thing. I didn't even realize it, but hair dryers, like the ones for $10, they don't have a cool air setting.
Yeah, no,
it's only
a fancy feature.
It wasn't that fancy. It was $25. So I had to spend $15 extra to step up into the quote unquote pro line, and that has a cool air button where it just produces regular, room temperature air.
Yeah, and I guess I'm just so used to Mrs. McFavorite has like top of the line everything when it comes to hair, so I'm used to seeing all that. But yeah, you're right. I don't think my heat gun has like a non-heat setting. It is adjustable, so I have a temperature setting. But yeah, you're right. I think even the lowest still has heat coming out.
Yeah,
so, crazy. Well, you can find us at YouTube/Open Your Toys. You can find us on the Facebook at our group, at least at facebook.com/group/Open Your Toys. If you want to just follow along with the show and see some announcements and then maybe see when Peter has a pressing news post, you can follow the page at facebook.com/Open Your Toys Cast. Again, on the website, you can find links to subscribe to us through iTunes, through Google Play, through RSS, through Stitcher Smart Radio. And then you can also find links to support the show there, primarily there, Amazon and eBay. A few pennies will go to our existence, and maybe we can get rid of this ugly StreamYard logo up here. Yeah, beyond that, let's get into what and then I always forget, I need to put these on the website. That might be smart. Voicemail is 720-235-TOYS, 720-235-8697. But if you really want to join us nowadays, just get on live. We'll put you on the show. No vetting necessary. Well, we do have to know you.
Oh boy!
Put random people on the show that start drawing penises and using racial epithets and shit. But and then email to all of us will go to team@openyourtoys.com. Mr. Stark, Bubba Keg with some LG fridge water, I assume.
Yeah. I'm predictable, boring. That's me.
Well, and I am drinking Lagunitas, little something ale, and I feel awful when Jessica bought this for me a few weeks ago, and she's like, I thought this is the one you like, and I was like, yeah, it's all right. And then I had it. I'm like, yeah, I definitely don't like that beer. And then she got this yesterday for me. And again, I was telling Lotus before we came on that I was just in a bad mood yesterday. Just a few things hit us, including one of our co-hosts not feeling the greatest. And it just kind of all hit me at once. And she came home with that beer, and I was like, I told you I didn't like that beer. I'm like, why the fuck would you buy that? Oh God, I feel awful, but it's not bad. Again, it says, let's see here. So we're all on collective disability. That's cool. Let's put some ice on it and keep ourselves elevated for a while. So what's on the tube, honey? Get me a beer from the fridge, will ya, sweetie? Please?
What?
That's a really weird description to have.
Yeah, that's like degrading too, right? I mean...
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Anyways,
sorry to all of the I know we have a huge presence of women who listen to this show and watch the show. So sorry about that. Don't know why that beer company chose that type of a description, but yeah.
Yeah, little something something. It's 64.20 on the IBU scale. OG scale's 1.076, and on the alcohol scale, 7.5%. So it's definitely got some
7.5, yeah.
booze. And then it says, "Life is uncertain. Don't sip." I'll be sipping this today, but
Life is uncertain. Don't wear a mask.
all right. First up, con news. TFCon Toronto rescheduled. So the world's largest fan-run Transformers convention is coming September 4th through the 6th. This is at the Hilton, Mississauga. At Meadowvale. So looks like now we also have a TFCon coming. Is it October in Chicago? Do you remember?
Yeah, it's October.
Right? So they're going back to back on this sucker.
I think what's interesting is that they have the ability to reschedule. You know, it's not just canceled. Like, they must have a really good relationship. Did TFCon start? Yeah, TFCon started in Canada, I believe, right?
It was only in Canada for a long time.
So they must have a really good relationship with the Hilton, or I don't know if it's always at the Hilton, but they must have a good relationship with those folks out there.
Yeah, well, I think at this point, freaking hotels are just like, please God, dude. Like, I couldn't imagine being in the hotel business right now. We have like a free night at a Best Western that we were going to use to go visit family, and it expires this month, and I'm like, shit, I'm gonna have to reach out to them and say, hey, can we please get this free night in June, July? You know, not so much for ourselves, but everybody we go visit is over 65, you know. So if they're not comfortable with it, I don't want to be out there. So Tokyo Toy Show, let's see, I think one of these was convention. Oh no, both of them have been Tokyo Toy Show and Wonderfest. Have been canceled. So this is where one, not only do we get to see a lot of Takara announcements, but this is also where third parties would have some stuff on display as well. So oh no, okay, that's right. Wonder Festival's been rescheduled. That's right. It'll be November 1st of this year. So, and that's the one I think that we see more third-party stuff at. We've got the What's on Joe Mind JoeCon virtual schedule. So this is kind of cool. So I totally meant before we got into an argument, this is what I was doing last time, and I'm sure you saw this, was zooming in. But what I need to do is I need to do the Lotus method of opening all the news and tabs and zooming them in beforehand, so you're not constantly seeing this herky-jerky. But so today we already missed it. It's the What's on Joe Mind guys. Well, do they even say what time these are? Are they doing these live, or are they just like posting the show after? Maybe they're just posting the show afterwards, because I know they are normally just an audio podcast. But anyways, today was the regular guys, and then Terry Dizzard of yojo.com. Tomorrow it looks like they've got a special guest, Joe Slipsky of Joe on Joe podcast, and Joe Hulp of the File Card podcast. So a couple days of podcast buddies there. And then Wednesday we get into the Black Book with Rob and Mike, and special guest Curtis Cujo Harold of G.I. Joeberg, author of the Black Book. Interesting. Knowing is half the panel. Life lessons from G.I. Joe with regulars and special guest host Arun, VP of Marketing of Boom Studios. Special guest Sarah, Mary Mercenary, Dietrich, and Paul Allure, writers of IDW's G.I. Joe. So very comic heavy there. Funny thing happened on the way to the panel with the regular guys on Friday with special guests Arthur Destro Burkhart and Bill Flint Ratner. And then Saturday, another star-studded one, Joe Parody with special guests Brian Dr. Mindbender Cummings, Zach Zartan Hoffman, and Morgan Baroness Lofting. So a few extra little surprises too. So listen to every panel. And again, they're doing all of this for, what is it, Works Kitchen, I believe. Yeah. World Central Kitchen. And let's see, in the face of Coda, let's say, schools, restaurants, businesses have been shut down, sending many of us home, stripping down our daily societal structure. For others, the pandemic has pushed their endurance to its absolute limit as they provide care and maintain the most essential supply lines for our daily lives. Help us support World Central Kitchen, which is making sure there's always a warm meal, an encouraging word, and a helping hand in hard times. They have served more than 16 million fresh cooked meals to communities in the aftermath of both natural and man-made disasters like hurricanes, earthquakes, wildfires, refugee crises, and more. So not doing too bad. They're already at 745 of their $2,000 goal. So there are worse things you could do with your stimulus check than to help them out if you're able. Toy news, Fan First Friday. So I set so many reminders for this, and I swear to God, if I don't get on my computer like first thing in the morning or my phone, which I'm really bad at being on my phone, then I just miss this shit, and I completely miss this whole live broadcast that they did, even though I was really excited for it. But so they announced quite a bit of new things. Mandalorian Stormtrooper for the Black Series, completely new sculpt with updated articulation. And that's one I can't find anywhere. I know Amazon has said that they were going to wait until this week, as they said they put out something that Hasbro relayed that says, as our partner Amazon is busy with providing essential things, their pre-orders were going to go up later than expected. But so basically a Black Series Stormtrooper, just new sculpt, better articulation. So I'm excited to see that. Whenever anything comes out, like the Galaxy of Adventure and all these like sublines, I always get a Stormtrooper. Like that's kind of how I test the line. It's my, what do you call that? Not a North Star, but anyways. It's my way to judge all these different toy lines. Okay. What we're looking at here on the screen is the Clone Wars Camino Clone Trooper. So this looks very cool. I'm a big sucker for gray, and this just has some great markings on it. I'm really digging it. This is another one that I haven't seen how to pre-order yet. So waiting on that.
If Rock was here, he'd like the gray too, because he seems to like a lot of toys that are gray.
So. He's like, "Fuck the paint, yo! Yeah. It's all about the gray, grayscale." Luke Skywalker and Yoda 2-pack that we had already talked about. It's a new Yoda sculpt, and Luke can apparently do a handstand pose with enough patience. And then finally in Black Series, not action figure related, but more role play, you get the Boba Fett prototype replica helmet.
You're not showing the pictures though.
Oh, sorry.
There's nice pictures.
Yes, sorry. I keep forgetting about this. So here's our Luke doing his voice, and I'm like, oh my God.
I would say that's probably going to take a while to figure that. Like, I don't think it just balances that perfectly, right? I mean, it's probably going to take a little bit of playing around.
Dude, I can barely get these things into 2-foot stances. The way they do their articulation, and like, because they literally put like chunks of plastic in their joints.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like a ratchet where you get a hard part, but then it snaps, but then it goes past that and it's a little loose, and then it hits another hard part. I'm like, it takes me forever just to get these guys in a normal, like, fighting stance, some bent knees, looking in a direction. So yeah, I'll be curious about that. But the Stormtrooper looks amazing. Like, I am all about this. This looks so dope. Now I got to call a little bit of bullshit on this. So this Boba Fett prototype helmet, this is not what the prototype was. The original, and well, okay, I see what they're doing. They're not looking at I'm thinking of the concept artwork. The concept artwork, the T-visor was completely different. They're talking about the actual prototype suit that they created that was all white. So get a carbonized Vader, which Peter chimed in, is like, this is very blue considering Vader was black.
So this is carbonized, right? Did you see the post? Did you see my the thread that it was Peter's thread, but had a lot of comments there. Did you see that by any chance?
I feel like you're baiting me into something. I did not see anything besides Peter saying it's a cash grab because they'll do a black version later.
All right. Well, we had a good conversation about it, but it ended up the end of the thread. We ended up talking about caramelized onions.
Oh, I do remember your caramelized. Yeah, because he was talking shit about you commenting on a toy that you could care less, and you're like,
Peter, so Peter tagged me into this post. So yeah. So I said, Peter, thank you for including me in the Star Wars conversation. As you know, I'm a huge fan. I agree the inner stripes have a navy blue color to them. And then I said to John, I said, I agree, and would have been better if these were caramelized. Just saying, because I like caramelized onions. So that was a whole conversation. So yeah, guys, if you are missing these conversations, they are in our Open Your Toys group. We have a very small group, but there's some fun conversations that happen in there.
Yeah, and make sure you're clicking that notification and putting at the top of everything, because who cares what your aunts and nephews and nieces are doing? You want to know what's happening in our group. But yes, I didn't realize he tagged you in it. That was
oh yeah.
So yes, he is very blue looking. I don't know if it's a cash grab to do a black one down the line, but I would have ordered it if it was black, like if it was a metallic black, like how they did the Sith sister. But yeah, I gotta agree with Peter. Like, the blue is not flattering, in my opinion. We get a cool Black Series 2-pack here with the Forlom and the Zuckuss with their names reversed, just like the vintage style. So this has been a big thing throughout history. Lotus is when these figures originally came out, they flipped these names. In the past, I think a Star Wars Celebration exclusive, it might have been Comic-Con. We got a 2-pack of them on vintage cards with the name swapped. I think we also got a comic pack with them. No, not a comic pack.
These are joined together on the same card, right?
No, these look to be separated.
Okay.
Unlike those, yeah, like if you see down here, they look like they're separated, but it looks to be a 2-pack they'll come in. But again, I mean, I guess if you're just a big Black Series vintage carded guy, then you should pick these up. I actually might do that because I am a big vintage carded guy.
When are those coming out?
These are the Amazon exclusives, so they haven't posted as of me checking this morning, pretty early in the morning. Okay. So,
but it's something that's going to come out like within a couple weeks, or
no, like August or something like
gotcha.
that.
Okay.
And here I'm trying to. Yeah, most of these pre-orders were pretty late in the game. So let's see if they've got them here. Yeah, $44, which isn't a bad price.
$49.99.
July 1st on these guys. Okay. So I actually might do those because I'm skipping a couple from the Wave 2 vintage line because so anytime they put stuff on a vintage card, it draws my attention. Mm-hmm. I've gotten all of the Black Series, so the 6-inch figures that they've released on vintage cards, except for in Wave 2, they put out 2 cards that never existed. One, so they could redeco an R2 and re-release him. Mm-hmm. And another one just because Luke never had a snow speeder pilot card. But then it's just artwork. It's not actually a photo from the movie, which these have always been. So I'm just kind of like, those I'm skipping. But since these are actually vintage carded ones, maybe that's what I'll add, even though the characters aren't my favorite.
Yeah. I mean, they seem kind of expensive, though, $25 a piece,
Yeah. Well, at $22.50, but
no, they're $50. They're $49.99.
Oh, I thought they were $44.99. No, my bad.
No, they were $49.99 for the pair.
Yeah, so yeah, a little bit more expensive, but again, I'm not too worried.
Now, this Han and Carbonite, is this was there ever a figure like that?
So there was, but he wasn't on a vintage card. So Han, and he came along in the Power of the Force line, which is where I've kind of drawn the line. Like, I'm not collecting Power of the Force cards. Now, so here is and let me see if images help. Okay,
yeah, I see.
So these are the new ones here. This is the one that came with Jabba's palace. So these were vintage carded ones. Oh, here we go. So he came in the Power of the Force. Oh, and here's an American version of it.
Oh, okay.
So he came in the Power of the Force line, which is after they got rid of the vintage carding and they started doing these weird coins in it as an added thing. You can kind of see what the figure itself looked like. So looks like, and I've never even owned one. So from this picture, he kind of looks like that's clear plastic. Yeah. So it's kind of like halfway when he's melting out of it. Oh yeah, here's a great picture of it. So it was clear plastic.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was in the vintage line, but just like what you did with your Joes, I kind of did with the Joes in a little bit different way. I went up to 87 with the Joes, and that was it. I cut it off. They released Joes well into the 90s, early 90s at least, on those old vintage card backs, and I'm just like, nope, I'm done. Got to draw the line somewhere. So. But what this really is for is to re-release this piece that was a Comic-Con exclusive. So they put out a Jabba's. They put out a Jabba a long time ago in the Black Series line, and was it? Oh no, maybe this came with the Boba Fett. Oh, see, now I'm questioning myself. Anyways, I believe this came with a Jabba, and you got this Han and Carbonite. And so, of course, because it's Comic-Con exclusive, not enough were made. People freaked out, blah, blah, blah.
But there's no figure with this. This is just a block.
This is just a block of plastic with this display stand.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Because the vintage that you're showing me actually has a figure that goes inside of it almost.
That's exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, I mean, this Han and Carbonite, they, like I said, Sideshow even did a life size for like $8,000. You can put this in your hallway or something. So this is recognizable to me. But yeah, I don't know.
And to their credit, I think it's only $15.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're trying to charge for it. Again, Peter's kind of like, it's just a cash grab, blah, blah, blah. Well, for some people, they may want that in their collection. If you're doing a Java's Dio, that kind of stuff. Let's see. Carbonite. Did I spell that right? Yeah, so it was a Boba Fett one that this originally came with. So,
okay, that sounds good.
And then last thing, matching up to Target's Father's Day promotions that they did last year, where we got Han in Stormtrooper disguise. Now we get Luke Skywalker in Stormtrooper disguise. Again, they put it on a vintage card. This was never released in a vintage card. This was actually a included accessory, included figure in a board game from back in the day. So again, just no need or want. But that was their big reveals. I don't know. I don't know if it was part of SDCC and all that excitement, if I'd be more excited, or if it's just because of I've been locked, been in my house for 6 weeks now and missed the live stream to be excited about it, and now it's just a bunch of pictures,
Well, I can tell you one thing is I don't really care, so it doesn't matter to me.
The Scorponok here, base mode not looking too exciting. The headmaster looks dope, and he looks really next to Brunt here, I think. Was that his name?
Yeah, Brunt.
And so then we get the other little headmaster, which is cool. I think
I'm glad that they made the visor move up and down. I mean, it's not translucent like the G1, but I'm glad that they did that.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even see that it wasn't translucent. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I mean, they just gave it like a Devastator eyes, red eyes like that. So it kind of sucks, but I guess the green eyes behind it, I'm guessing those light up maybe, or maybe they just have light piping because you can see it's kind of like a translucent green plastic.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm unsure because again, if people aren't familiar, Scorponok wasn't a large headmaster like that. It was literally a little headmaster that kind of sat in a larger helmet. And so I was trying to find one of the full body here. They have some comparison pics. So to me, him being a full headmaster, I guess at first the head was looking a little big to me, but maybe that's just because I'm used to the
fine. Yeah, I mean, him next to Trip to Economy, the head looks fine.
Yeah, that's not doing too bad because they did the same thing with Fort Max, right? Fort Max oh no, the original Fort Max had a full transforming head and then a smaller headmaster
with Cerebros,
as well. So But yeah, scales looking really impressive. Next to the Predaking here, Omega Supreme. So, and then next to that, Devastator. I do like in the opening pic here in the thing, him actually holding. Oh, that didn't actually open it, but him holding the Prime.
Yep.
In there. So.
All right.
All right, move on.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Star Wars Archive vote. So they are continuing their plans to re-release Black Series figures in the Archive line, so different packaging, so it doesn't mess with your with people that have left theirs in the package, to only show the spine that has the number on it. Looks like this is going to be opening in about 10 days here. But yeah, I can't really think of anything I'm really jazzed about or need. Roger Sweet, contested originator of He-Man. Him and Mark Taylor have been.
That was wasn't that in the Toys That Made Us where he was talking about that? Yeah.
And it goes. That shit goes real deep on who designed that and who designed this and all that.
I thought that was just something they did, like a little skit for the show. I didn't realize that was a real battle.
These guys won't be around each other at cons. Cons can invite them to the same con and all that. Like it's a pretty big deal. But he was on a podcast, so if you're curious, you can go to openyourtoys.com, top of the page. There's show notes, and you can take a listen to what Roger Sweet has to say. Next up, stock packaging of the Seekers. So yeah, they look like the Seekers. Again, in my opinion, a really good way to do this. You know, I'd be curious. Like I collect all three when I collect, but I'd be curious if there's anyone out there that just does Starscream and they're like, nope, got the mold and don't need Skywarp or Thundercracker. But I used to do like everything, all the cone heads. Then I had to cut the cone heads. So now it's just that Seeker mold.
I think those are the best colors, Skywarp and Thundercracker.
Yeah, and that's what. See, I started collecting Starscream just because I really liked his character on the show. I mean, he's one of them that has some of the most depth. The conniving and all that kind of stuff. But pressed, Skywarp is definitely my favorite color scheme. Mm-hmm. And then pressed again, like Swage has been doing in the group. Hot Link, I think, definitely looks better than Skywarp with his color scheme of black and darker grays. But I'm going for, screen accuracy here, what we kind of remember. So this is definitely my Skywarp, even though I agree with Swage. Hot Link does look a lot better than him. Mm-hmm. And then a couple of my favorites, the clones. So these are the Decepticon clones. No doubt we'll be seeing the Autobot clones and similar 2-packs. And I think I'm doing it. Even though I have them, even though I had to buy a multi-pack to pull one out to sell all the rest of the figures out of the multi-pack, I think I'm going to buy them in this package and just have them in the package behind the opened figures in my display.
That's fine. That's a fine way to do it then.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine these would be too expensive. They're Legends figures, so I can't imagine that 2-pack's going to be more than $20, but
looks like I got a comment here a little bit late on the comment. Average Jose says SDCC Fett had the Han. Does that mean anything?
Yeah, so he was confirming that that Han and Carbonite came with the STC Boba Fett.
Well, thanks, Average Jose. You know, I don't know any of this stuff, so.
Yes, and thank you for joining us and being on the live thing. Like I say, people shouldn't feel bad about not joining us. I constantly had the best intentions to join podcasts when they did live streaming, and I made it to very, very few of them. So I know in particular in my personal life, podcasts are kind of an at my convenience thing. They're not things I set reminders for, but you can subscribe to the show on YouTube and set reminders when we post these. So Snake Mountain update. So we get a masked Brian Flynn here.
It looks small to me. No, I'm curious. It looks smaller than what he originally had in mind. Doesn't it seem like it's a little bit smaller? Not a lot, but no.
I don't know.
I mean, it's still a big piece. I'm just saying that it just seems like, I don't know. Maybe I would just, the pictures that we saw earlier, the cool gray ones and stuff, like all that stuff, I just thought that it was larger, but
I don't know. It seems huge. But
yeah.
I know when they showed it at Comic-Con, like when they had it there, that was like the first shot at it, and they were saying that it was going to be smaller than that. Okay. They were saying not by much, but that they were just going to have to make it a little smaller than that. But
and I thought the waterfall was supposed to be like a translucent.
Me too.
And that's like it looks horrible. It just looks like a orange piece of plastic. Like it doesn't even look like a waterfall to me. It's supposed to be like, what is it supposed to be? Blood or something? Blood waterfall?
I don't know if it's supposed to be blood, but you know, even just throwing a wash on it.
Well, what was it in the show? I mean, what was it? Was it?
I think it was supposed to be lava.
Lava. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Lava. Okay.
So being lava, I guess it wouldn't necessarily need to be clear, but yeah, put some kind of wash on it. To me, the snake face doesn't have a lot of detail either. Right. It seems like the coils have more of a wash on them than the face itself. But again, this thing is just, this is the poster you get with it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, what do you think? I mean, you think it's worth $750? Because that's what it is, right? $750 with the shipping.
Yeah, right now. Well, yeah, even when it came out, it was like $700 with the shipping. I'm kind of like you. If this is going to be a centerpiece of your collection and you're going to put every single one of your villains around it or something like that, I think it is. I mean, this thing's massive, you know, but it is so big. There'd just be no place to put that in my house. Like I'm already fretting about Unicron. You know, I think I've cleared a pretty good space for it, both in planet and robot mode when I get it. But I mean, this thing's twice the width of it at least, and probably 6 to 9 inches taller than it. So I would love it. I just don't have that much. I don't have that much nostalgia connection to it because I never owned it. I loved the design in the cartoon, but I hated the design of the toy itself. That's the reason why I've never bought one before, But yeah, this goofy face here, like, I mean, that's this one on the right, if you can't see what I'm circling. Let me read. That just looks goofy to me. It looks like an old witch or something, sticking out of it.
I mean, it reminds me of like something from Fraggle Rock.
Yeah. There you go. That is very much exactly what it looks like.
Like, what were the ogres called? Like the full size ogres.
Like the ones that they would go and be in
they would like be above ground or something.
Yeah.
That's what the face kind of reminds me of, is one of those ogre faces.
Yeah. I agree. The one that we're always trying to catch them.
Yeah. They were trying to
Yeah.
catch the doozers. Is it
Yeah.
doozers or dozers? Doozers? I don't
I
remember.
think it was dozers, like
Dozers?
bulldozers
Okay. Yeah.
is what I always. New Lego AT-AT. So I've already given Mrs. McFavorite the heads up. Mrs. McFavorite buys my $100 plus Lego sets that I won't buy myself. They're usually my birthday present each year. So I let her know this was a coming. So what's really interesting about this is they kind of downplayed the detail. They made the legs a little bit skinnier. And to me, it really looks like what we saw on Lego Masters.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you is like, since we already seen something similar in Lego Masters, is that what they maybe had that planned all along, and it was kind of to get it fresh in everyone's mind kind of thing, I wonder if some of this stuff is staged,
Yeah. Well, and I know with this, I mean, this would have been, even though they most of the parts can be reprinted and stuff like that. I mean, they're still planning this a year in advance. So I can't imagine that they were doing anything based off of or, because of Lego Masters. But I guess that show was probably filmed in advance too. So
yeah.
But yeah, their AT-ATs in the past have always been a little bit more hulking. And so this one is actually more accurate with the more spindly legs on it. This cockpit up here is what people have complained about for a long time too, is because in the movie there's two drivers and an AT-AT commander standing behind them in this cockpit. And so they are definitely not practicing social distancing, but they really look crammed the fuck in there. But it's same thing with the Millennium Falcon. They finally got 4 seats into it, but everybody does look like they're kind of crammed in there. And we get yet another interesting. They're doing the AT-AT drivers in blue. And interesting here, putting blue armor on the AT-AT commander too.
So the first thing that comes to my mind with those drivers is, remember when you were younger and you had, I don't know if you had it or not, but so when I was younger, I'm talking like really young. Do you remember those pajamas that had the feet on them? The pajamas that were all like one suit. Yeah, it was like one suit with a zip, and it had the feet, attached to it. So I had a blue one when I was younger, and so it just reminds me of they're wearing blue onesies, I guess. I don't know why, but that's the first thing that popped in my head when I saw the 2 Lego figures.
Well, and then traditional decos for these guys, it's been gray. So it's really interesting that they're going with the blue here. The same thing with this brother up here at the top here. Well, he's normally all been gray.
Yeah, I guess, like I said, I guess it's because maybe the arms are also blue, so like it looks like a one suit kind of a thing. Like it's weird.
Yeah.
Normally, you don't see the pants, the arms, and the center thing all blue. Or all one color, I should say.
No, and you're absolutely right. It's the same way as the pilot up here. Is they're wearing a jumpsuit.
Okay. Yeah.
And then they have all this electronics and hosing and stuff all around it.
So that is
how it's meant to be.
And so they actually do wear a blue jumpsuit. I know the orange jumpsuit because I've seen that, but I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen one of the Star Wars that has the blue jumpsuit.
Yeah.
What movie would that be in?
Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes. Okay. All right.
And I am literally right at this point paused before I started the show.
Oh, okay.
So I've only made it through Star Wars.
So you don't know what's going to happen then?
No, it's going to be a complete surprise.
Oh, wow. See, well, then I don't feel so bad. See, I'm right there with you, man. I have no idea.
But now I am definitely going to look to see whether this guy's wearing gray suit with blue armor and helmet.
Or a blue
These guys
onesie.
are and the blue onesies. And then, like I say, this is really interesting here, the tan hands on the snow troopers too. So I'm gonna have to pay close attention to that after the show.
Maybe they wear leather gloves in the movie.
Yeah, no, that's
Like tan
I
leather
agree.
gloves.
Well, and when they did the black series of those snow troopers, they dirtied up their boots something crazy, like yellow, like fading into brown at the bottom. And that's something else I wanted to check out. Because again, as these things evolve, I'm assuming that they're just getting more and more screen accurate every time they do these. But to me, it's how I remember it. To me, I remember those snow troopers being just like all white, nothing on them tan or dirty or anything like that. So Mondo put out some official pics of their Man-At-Arms. So this is the first one that really kind of wowed me. They showed off their He-Man and Skeletor first, and I was kind of like, yeah. But in my opinion, they did a really amazing job with their Mondo. Kind of does their own interpretation of things. This is very cool, a snake version of him, because Man-At-Arms, you got to remember, was leading an army, and the army wore the same armor as him. So I don't know if that snake head would be enough impetus for a collector to buy two $150 figures, but I mean, just looking really
every time I see Man-At-Arms, it just reminds me of like he could fit right into like a mask collection.
Yeah,
he looks like he could be a mask character.
I agrees. Oh, that's kind of cool. Got a little wrecking ball coming out of his mace there. Oh, I don't know what the hell that's supposed to be.
The Compass of Doom.
It's a teaser for, looks like Beastman will be their next figure, which will be interesting. Oh, and the Goddess? That's kind of crazy. I have no idea what the hell that skull is.
Ghost Rider.
This is She-Ra, because she had an axe that was a comb. Stratos, of course. Oh, that skull could have been Scareglow, because I think they've already shown Scareglow, and then a Trap Jaw. So they're telling people, support this line, or we're gonna make more stuff, we promise. But the one I'm really excited about is Merman. To me, he's probably the best looking figure we've seen from this line so far. MP Spinout or Red Sunstreaker, Diaclone Sunstreaker.
This is I'm just glad that I quit the Masterpiece stuff, because this just pisses me off. I mean, they're just doing these cash grabs, and they're just going deep into these weird catalogs. I mean,
yeah. No, I agree. I mean, it is. I do think it's interesting that you get these two figures out of these two Lamborghinis. Like, to me, that's interesting, the engineering there, but I agree. I'm kind of like, again, I don't have a lot of connection to Diaclone. That's not where I remember Transformers. I remember them on Toys R Us shelves.
Exactly, yeah.
And Hasbro packaging, that kind of thing. The only thing that remotely I have a connection to is maybe what is the Shockwave? That's the only thing I remember from my kid is seeing a gray Shockwave in Radio Shack and being like, what the hell's this knockoff? Kind of thing. But that's the only like non-transformer thing I remember. And so luckily I've never made that any part of my collection. You know, your buddy from Beer and Transformers just did his Diaclone Laserbeak.
Yeah.
You know, and he had 2 of them. He had one opened and one in the package.
Well, no, what he was showing, what he was showing was the differences between the knockoff and the real.
Oh, okay.
That was the packages are almost the same, but that knockoff is actually hard to get as well. That's a vintage knockoff.
Yeah. Well, and that's the whole thing is like, it's crazy how even the vintage knockoffs are super expensive, you know. And again, relatively, you know, we're not talking thousands of dollars or anything, but no, again, the only reason why I like it is the engineering part, you know, that you have this transformer and this transformer. And really the only differences you're seeing here, right, is some of the, you know, the exhaust up here, or I guess
that's the same thing as Sunstreaker. I guess I'm not understanding your comparison, because it's the same thing as Sunstreaker.
Yeah, no, I agree. Oh. That's what I'm just saying is I never personally realized that Sunstreaker was that close to Sideswipe when it came to the actual mold, the toy itself down here. So this is the first time I've seen them kind of side by side. And again, because I don't care about the Countach brothers, I haven't really paid attention, you know. The only thing I like about these 2 guys is the G2 Sideswipe that's all super armed up like Rambo, you know. Again, because of connection. I never had those. I never knew anybody that had those, you know.
Yep. It's all about the nostalgic feeling. Yep.
Exactly. Hot Toys just today. This is the amazing thing about doing a live show. Just today announced some new 1/6 scale figures. So first up, a Hot Toys Darth Vader, The Empire Strikes Back 40th Anniversary Edition. So, of course. I want you to click over here to see more pictures. Wonder if they got a cease and desist at some point to not just yank pictures and post them to their site.
Yeah, it would have been better just to go to Sideshow's site, but that's fine.
I was actually kind of curious because I've never been on Hot Toys' actual like Hong Kong site, but
yeah, it's just really slow. You're just just really slow, but yeah, I mean, this is interesting because I don't think they've ever done I don't think they've ever done vintage decos of them. I don't know. This is like something new that they're reaching out to pull heartstrings, I guess, to do vintage variants. I mean, even the box, from what I'm understanding, the box is going to be a vintage style box, like the graphics on the box itself. Yeah, see there you go.
Yeah, and I don't know.
They've never done that before.
Yeah, I was going to say I've never seen any kind of decoration like this, but I don't know if if they're just doing a vintage style, because I don't even think the 12-inch Vader looked like that.
Well, it's not. I mean, it's still going to be Vader for the movie. It's not replicating a toy. It's just the deco and the styling. Yeah, it's still going to be movie realistic, but it's just the art box and everything. Maybe the way it's painted. I think with the Boba Fett, you can really tell the difference. But I think it's more of just a vintage deco. I think that's what they're going for. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know too much about it, but vintage color version.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're just saying they've never customized the boxes. The boxes have been one way for Star Wars, one way for Marvel, that kind of thing. Or have they all been very similar even across the different lines that they've had?
Well, they usually take a picture, they take a still from the movie and then they usually put on the box, or they'll do, a certain, design, a special design featuring the character on the box. So this is different, that it's like almost like a toy style box almost.
Yeah.
But I mean, like for this Boba Fett, this vintage color, was this in the movie? What are they replicating? Are they replicating the colors of the toy, or are they replicating the colors of the comics? Okay.
Yeah. So they're replicating the toy.
The toy. Okay.
Boba Fett. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And I am really afraid this thing is just spinning and spinning. I guess our feed survived last time when my Chrome crashed, but right now we can't get to anything else. And I really wanted to talk. Oh, there we go. And wanted to. Interesting.
Yeah,
now we're. Oh, that tab.
You might want to close some of the. Yeah, you might want to close some of those other tabs.
Let me reopen this tab real quick, because that's where the show notes were. There we go. And we'll close the other tabs. Yeah, it looks like it. Oh, okay. I was going to say, it looks like it's just choking on this. So yeah, this is the same color as the vintage, which that's ballsy, man. They're a $250 figure that they've already released, and they're just going to redeco it and sell it for. It's probably more expensive than the first time they released this figure, just because the price always tends to go up and up. But
yeah, I don't know. These figures have always been in that 245, 250, plus. Plus. Yeah. So it just, yeah. For the collector that has everything and wants one more.
It's Star Wars Day. Why not, bro?
Yeah, why not? Yeah. And then I saw you posted the Clone Wars as well. The Clone Wars actually is really big. I mean, a lot of people are really into the Clone Wars.
Yeah, and it drives me nuts because I never caught up before they did this last season. And so now I have to people post about it and I'm like, oh shit, I can't see this, because of spoilers. But so this teaser picture, to the best of my knowledge, looks very much like a battle-worn, aged Rex trooper. So he was the clone captain for Anakin before Anakin went bad. But what I know, spoilers, again, I haven't seen it, but from what I know about the series from other spoilers I've received, is they are now Ahsoka's troops, and that's why they've repainted their helmets. So you see the 501st behind them. That was Anakin's brigade. And so it looks like we'll get a Captain Rex, probably most likely both helmet versions, I'd assume. Maybe one's going to be a sideshow exclusive or something like that. But again, pretty ballsy. Like I say, I know Star Wars fans are pretty into it, but have you've seen more mainstream interest in it?
Oh yeah, it's huge. It's a big deal in the 1/6 community.
Nice. Well, I'm glad that people are excited for that. I thought that would be like a real risky move on their part, just because Clone Wars is newer, and I don't know,
really good follow. Especially what's the girl that has the horns on her head?
Ahsoka Tano.
She's a coveted character as well, I guess.
Yeah, and this would be her brigade.
Okay.
So that makes sense and that's what I've been seeing. People are really excited about how she's being portrayed in the latest season and that kind of stuff. So, because she was one that every collector bitched about. She was like the Jar Jar of the Clone Wars when it first came out. So I'm really happy to see that they really evolved her character, and now the community is really behind her.
Yeah. Looks like Shane is on his way to Walmart to go look for Transformers. That's all he's doing there is looking for Transformers. Well, Shane, you should be ashamed of yourself because
He says also getting some essential
no, he
stuff.
doesn't. He doesn't say that. He's just going to Walmart to look for toys. Come on. So I want to give Shane a shout out because he kind of stuck up to Peter. I read a post about Peter posted the $13 Soundwave and that he was disappointed because it was it's a $50 retail price toy and he doesn't feel the plastic doesn't feel good and this and that. And Shane had some good points that he made in there. So shout out to Shane for definitely making some good rebuttals to Peter's original post there.
Yeah, I really didn't want to get mixed on that. But yeah, I'm just kind of like, man, what do you expect? I mean, I understand Peter collects very high-end items, but even in SH Figure Arts, that's $90. Like the plastic doesn't feel like $90 to me, at least. Like even the Storm collectibles.
Yeah, Storm collectibles. I mean, you can break those with your fingers just as easy, right?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah,
I did it
break
without
it in half.
paying attention.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, I don't know. Somebody also chimed in that discussion saying that the quality was about the same as the original vintage. And, like I say, it's one of those things where $13 is a no-brainer for Soundwave. He was the most articulated G1 figure ever, I think. Maybe Skyfire or Jetfire was a little bit more articulated than him, but I know Peter. My standpoint, and sorry, I literally just hit the wrong screen and exited out of the live thing, but that's pretty nice. That doesn't drop you. So Peter, let's hear your thoughts. Are you becoming elitist?
I think he is. I mean, I understand that he collects, really high end, super robots and, stuff that has a lot of die cast and a lot of detailed paint and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. He's always been into that kind of high end kind of a scenario.
I agree, and it's crazy to me that he's buying. Wow, and again, let's not be too tough on the guy, but he was buying like $250 figures that he had no nostalgic connection to. Yeah. He didn't follow the fiction. He just thought they were cool looking figures that were very well made, and I'm just like, wow, that's baller. Like, I have a hard time spending $40 on a figure that I have no connection to.
Well,
just
I don't read
cool.
Comics. Yeah, I mean, I don't read comics, but my statue collection was all Marvel characters. And I don't read comics, but I mean, and most of them were comic like portraits. You know what I'm saying? So
you had, but even if you didn't read comics, did you have any connection to them?
No.
Like, did you ever?
No, I just bought them because they were cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have no connection to Venom, no connection to Thanos. I mean, I bought all that stuff, before the movies were popular and stuff. I mean, Iron Man I always thought was cool, but that was just because of the movie,
Yeah. I feel you. All right. Well, we're getting short on time and long on stories. Newage MP Soundwave. So pretty crazy. I guess I haven't seen reviews about Newage's anything beyond their Legends figures.
Yeah.
Because they're not one of the ones that did one of the primes, right?
No, I don't think so. No.
It's kind of looking like maybe all they did was this Bumblebee. Is this their boat? Yeah,
I don't think that's theirs.
I do like that it comes with Ravage and Laserbeak in it, and that we're getting like a more in scale version of it. So this one's a wait for the reviews. I did love that version of it. I love that we got, Ravage and Laserbeak. So I'll have to wait for that. DNA, known for their Combiner Wars add-on kits, does basically a movie master accessory kit, upgrade kit here. So you're getting some stuff for Sentinel Prime. Again, if you're going to buy that Sentinel Prime, I will not be. You get some Well, this is the new Voyager.
Oh,
this is
I had the leader. Series. I had the original leader.
And I have the leader too. And I'm like, and that's perfect for me. That's all I need. I don't need to spend another $30 on them. This one kind of got me just because I like the way it looks on it.
You like gray plastic?
Yeah. The gray plastic that looks like blue plastic, but it's actually gray plastic.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it for third party. Store report: The Empire Strikes Back Wave 2 is hitting at Targets, as one of our listeners and member in the group found this pilot Luke Skywalker. So this is what I was talking about. This is a completely fabricated card, never appeared in the vintage line. Mm-hmm. Same thing here with this R2D2, completely fabricated. So the TIE Pilot, Hoth Rebel Trooper, and the Lando are the only ones I'm looking at from this wave, but those are hitting Target now. And lots of stuff online. Purge Trooper, I've been checking this thing all goddamn day because I really want this freaking Purge Trooper, and it hasn't been available. Let's check it one more time. So they have the product page up, and of course it's on sale because Star Wars items are on sale. So this is from Jedi Fallen Order. So excited that we're finally going to get a release of this in the States. It's been available in Canada at EB Games for quite a while. But we'll see if we actually ever get it online. Same thing with GameStop. I've been checking this very often. The Flame Toys Furai model kit for G1 Optimus Prime hit the site at a $16.99 price point. Now, GameStop has not been above canceling orders that result from a price mistake, and this has to be a price mistake. This is a $35 to $40 model kit that they have up there for $17. Still, I've been trying to, I check it about once a day to see if it's available. In celebration of May the 4th, we're getting another 12th scale probe droid. So not only was this the Black Series big Empire Strikes Back thing, that and the Luke and Yoda now, but also if you want a fully die-cast version of it, the Disney store has it in their 12-inch line. So looking really good. Again, not a huge fan of die-cast. I know some people think that basically equates to quality, and then the other thing here, you're getting this weird Star Wars key thing, and I haven't looked very much into. Oh, you can't even make the pictures bigger on here, but anyways. Amazon pre-orders again have not gone up, but if you're curious, Yak News has links to it. We have added the direct links. Pre-orders have not opened yet. Yeah, so these are all the Amazon pre-orders that we have already talked about. May 4th Lego sale. So again, we've touched on this previously. They've had a lot of stuff sell out, including this A-Wing Starfighter, which absolutely fucking blows my mind because they've done Ultimate Collector Series during May the 4th before, and they haven't sold out. So the reason why this A-Wing fighter would sell out is beyond me. They also had the Death Star, like Lego scenes that had like 15 different scenes. I almost pulled the trigger. I was so fucking close on the night before. Like, I've always wanted it. I hated that they re-released it at a 25% markup, but I was like, fuck it. I'm going to do it. If it's there tomorrow morning, I'm going to do it. And it's sold out on the first day. So my bank and my wife appreciate that it sold out. Again, if you're listening to this today, because this is Star Wars Day sales, you can go find a bunch of other shit, including dog toys and blender bottles and clothing for everybody in the family, a free book on Amazon if you're interested in the Queen's Shadow. Not an actual 3D representation of it, but a fat head sticker of the Han and Carbonite that we've been talking about. Tons of Star Wars deals if that's your thing.
You can put it on your refrigerator.
That would be actually kind of cool, and like cut the lines to be able to open your doors everywhere where they open. That actually is not okay. I'm gonna go see how much. No, I'm sorry. What'd you get, Lotus? Did you get some more Billy Bob in the mail?
No, I mean, I don't think no, not really. Just, no, I don't have anything new.
Nothing new. Do we have to watch your videos to find out?
Oh no, I mean, I have parts. I mean, I have parts that I'm, assembling on him, but yeah, I didn't actually get the stuff. I mean, I've had it.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Oh shit. I am going to have to go get something from the living room real quick, but let me open up my spreadsheet prior to doing that, and let me see what I got. Trying to think. Shit, did I actually not get anything this week? That might be
nice.
Fucking...
There we go. It's okay. It's okay. You don't have to buy everything.
I know.
You don't have to. It's okay. We're in the middle of a recession. It's okay.
Oh, I know. Okay, so I know what I did get, but I didn't.
I'm glad recession helped you jog your memory.
No, I'm just trying to picture like my living room display and all the things that I've put up there recently. But I got the Vitruvian Hacks horses, their Kickstarter that was almost
my goodness.
A year ago. So it's very cool. I got okay. I'm gonna go get this stuff. Sorry, Lotus. I'm gonna leave you here in the lurch for about 20 seconds. So entertain the people.
Oh boy. All right. Well, don't really know what to say, but if anybody is interested in animatronic robots from the 80s, they can go check out my YouTube channel. I've been putting together restoring some robots from the 80s from Showbiz Pizza Place. And so, yeah, so you can go over there and watch me restore robots, I guess. And learn how to use a hairdryer, because like I said, my latest video I actually used a hairdryer. So
great job, Lotus.
I honestly haven't had a hairdryer in like probably I don't think I've ever owned a hairdryer. I'll be honest with you. I don't think I've ever used a hairdryer.
See, we're drilling down on a profile of you, Lotus. You better be careful.
I'm bald.
Oh, you don't mind sharing that with people?
Oh no, I'm bald.
I'm bald too. I have I've got the peach fuzz. rocking. But okay, so I did get something from the store. Let's see. I got the Battalion Jetfire, that Walgreens weird, like big Jetfire, and yeah, it's garbage, like I thought it was, but it was worth it. Considering I had a coupon and I was there doing essential shopping anyways. And then one thing I didn't grab from the living room, but I got the Mega Constructs Predator to go along with my Mega Constructs Alien. And that Mega Constructs Predator is awesome. It's got the little like missile launcher shoulder mounted missile launcher thing. It's got
laser, isn't it? Isn't it a laser?
Yeah, it
Alien.
blows things up. So I don't know how a laser blows things up.
Well, it's alien technology.
Exactly.
You're not supposed to know how that works. You're not an alien. Or are you?
Oh, I don't know. I might be. I might very well be, and I just don't know it yet, right? Like they're going to come down and they're going to tell a bunch of people, you've been doing our bidding. So I got that. I got Grapple after I bitched on the last show that I saw it once and never saw it again. I saw it again. And what's nice is their Voyagers are only $27 at Walmart. So I felt like I was getting 10% off, even though it's still expensive, but it wasn't 30 at least. And then, like I say, the one thing I did want to show off here was I got my Vitruvian Hacks 1/18th scale horses. So very cool. You've got different ways to kind of soup them up, little masks and stuff. The armor is really cool. Everywhere that they made it pluggable, like you can take some of the more decorative stuff off of this horse. So it's got a lot of like skulls and a lot of decorative stuff. You can pop all of that off. The one bad part, I'm going to show you my horse's ass here. Yeah, literally, I even heated this up with my gun, trying to pull the tail off, just snap the peg right off of it.
Wow.
So that'll be a fun thing that I try to get replaced from them. But because everything's modular, it literally should just be like a Reveltech style hinged ball joint that they have to send me in the mail. They came with these cool stands, nothing that it pegs into, which I wish it would have. I wish there would have just been a little hole in the sculpt. But it's got these little resting. This is the tall one, and then there's a short one. So this is like when they're rearing up. And then there's a short one for when they're just standing, but these are ball jointed as well.
Okay.
I have a really hard time with like the flight controls. When you go left, it's right. And when you go right, it's left. So that was kind of cool.
I think that's called aileron. I think that's aileron.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
I didn't realize it had a name for it.
I think it's called aileron.
Now, one I'm keeping in package. This was their Kickstarter exclusive. This is their Sugar Skull horse. So it's got like Sugar Skull deco. There's the cool bones on it. It's got purple hair, some flowery stuff. This one I was super excited about. Again, just something I grew up in, the culture I grew up in when I was a kid. So that one will just stay in a package as a representation of that line. While this one that I played around with, I broke. That was literally the first thing I did with the horse, besides just posing it a couple times, is tried to pull off that tail and snap.
Oh, all right.
And then my favorite thing I got this week from previous co-host and good friend, Mr. Vern Phillips, and the perfect companion all day for me, Baby Yoda. And it's I am super impressed with Vern's work on these. They're all hand painted.
Oh, he's making those?
Yeah, he's 3D printing these.
Oh, nice.
Like that's if people don't know Vern or follow Vern on Facebook or Instagram, this is his new passion.
I had no idea. I had no idea he was into 3D printing. That's cool.
Yeah, he's already upgraded from like the low end 2 to 300 one. He's already upgraded to the one that does double the size of it, and he's doing all kinds of. He's done Mandalorian gauntlets. He did a Mandalorian blaster. So yeah, this Baby Yoda is super cute. I actually asked for. He's printing mask buckles. So my masks, the ones we have, are homemade. And they're just a little tight for my big head. So they basically make my ears kind of stick out a little bit, and they just hurt after wearing them in a Walmart for an hour, kind of thing. And he sells these little 3D buckles that he's printing on his printer that alleviates the pressure on your ears from them. So I asked for a few of those, and he was super nice and sent me a little Baby Yoda along with them. So that's what I got. When I did the post today, I totally forgot to ask people to send a listener a discussion topic, but we're running pretty long right now, so no need to muse over anything. But please let us know. This is something that Lotus felt strongly about, and I personally love. Is we would love to do less of this quickly moving through news that 10% of our listener cares about this one and 10% cares about that one. We would love to do more discussion topics, especially as we get more people on the show. So please, the listener feedback and questions isn't just about the show. Ask us questions. Tell us something you'd like to hear discussed. Because, some of our most popular shows are the ones that Lotus and Rock did, where they just kind of freestyled it and really didn't do news. They just talked about their collecting and their collections.
Yeah, we could, there's a lot of things we can do with a video format as well. Even we could focus on we could take a figure, and kind of set up our cameras to focus on the figure and just discuss it. So we could do something like that as well, or maybe pick a G.I. Joe or something and do that with. I don't know. There's a lot of things we can do in this kind of format.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Especially see me as I get real blushy because of how much I'm drinking. I'm getting really warm. All right. Grab bag, Galaxy's Edge that could have been. And this is where I need to learn, like, when we're not looking at stuff, to turn that off, or maybe to turn that off. So the Galaxy's Edge, everybody's familiar with this. This is the amusement park section of now Disneyland and Disney World. And it's quite focused. It does have just some general Star Wars vibes, but it's quite focused on the sequel trilogy, so the movies that just came out. And this article is really interesting, talking about how it was always planned to be focused on the original trilogy. And Kathleen Kennedy came in, again, with a lot of facts behind her and probably a lot of charts and graphs showing how well The Force Awakens was doing, and said that it needed to be a sequel trilogy land because it's not for the 50-year-olds, it's for the next generation. And she said she didn't want it to turn out to be a museum for Star Wars. It should be this active, growing thing that their fans can grow with. Well, what it's kind of turned out to be is a lackluster sequel trilogy museum that people love because you see the Millennium Falcon and their Star Warsy things. But this could have been something dedicated to the movies that, at least us, again, we're I assume most of us are 40-something-year-olds, maybe a few early 50s people in there. But if your nostalgia for this stuff is like ours, that's probably your age. I would have much preferred something around the original trilogy. It wouldn't have been based in Batu. It would have been based in Tatooine. It wouldn't have been Maz Kanata's Cantina. It would have been the Mos Eisley Cantina. Just stuff like that. And it's kind of sad that just because at the time that first sequel trilogy movie was really taken off, that they kind of scrapped the whole idea and went this whole other direction. And now the next two movies haven't really been well received. People are complaining, people are mad, and now we're kind of stuck in this sequel trilogy timeline and environment. But again, something to take a read. I was interested in it because we're hoping to get out there sometime this year. Again, fingers crossed. But who knows? We may wait. That's kind of what we've been kicking around is there just going to be a crush of people trying to go there, by October, November of this year? Is it even going to be open? If there's,
what's the experience going to be like? Are they going to have exactly 6 feet? So, are you going to have to wear a mask and then it's going to be hot? And then,
that's exactly right.
Is it going to take away from the experience?
Yeah, because I don't want my daughter's first experience to be her complaining about how her mask is fogging up her glasses all day. Right.
Yep.
So no, I that's kind of what we've been contemplating. We have a friend that's a Disney travel host or whatever they call them. They're basically people that pimp Disney shit, and get a little kickback from people that book stuff there. But yeah, it's one of those things. It might be fun if everybody's scared to go and they don't have to, if the experience is just like you would expect, but with 50% less people, like that might be a great experience, but yeah. I agree. I don't know what their post-pandemic operations are going to look like. New movie here. So this is he was originally pinning a new movie alongside Christy Wilson Carnes, but now it looks like Taki Waititi is going to be directing a new Star Wars movie.
Yep.
He won an Academy Award for the Best Adapted Screenplay for Jojo Rabbit. And he also directed the final season or the final episode of The Mandalorian, which I really dug. Jojo Rabbit I absolutely loved. If you're all at all a favorite of what am I looking at? Parodying history. It's absolutely amazing. Has a few heart-wrenching scenes in it. Of course, any movie about the Nazis should, but it's a hilarious movie. Hitler is just the funniest fucking thing in it ever. So yeah, he'll be making a new Star Wars movie.
Shane said there was a rumor that Target is going to start canceling their mispriced Transformer pre-orders. Have you heard anything?
They fucking better not. I got in on those mispriced. I haven't seen an email yet, but interesting. Interesting, because I was all in. They were doing their Voyagers. I got the Quintesson and the Snapdragon for $20, and then not only was it $20, but then they were also offering a 20% off Star Wars sale at the time. So I got those $30 figures for $16 on pre-order. Oh, they better not. I'll be pissed. So in addition to a new Star Wars movie, there's also a new Transformers live action movie coming our way. Let's see, 2 scripts are currently in development. One by James Vanderbilt, and he did a murder mystery, which I've never seen that, and the other by John Wick Chapter 3 scribe Joby Harold. The Vanderbilt project is based on the Beast Wars, and the other is reportedly in the Bumblebee universe. So, Beast Wars. What does that look like to you, Lotus? A live action Beast Wars movie. Have you ever even seen an episode? I assume you've watched.
No, I watched. I think I watched almost all of season 1.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just couldn't. I just didn't continue. I mean, I just got to a certain point. I was like, okay, I understand this and that, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they can. I don't think I'd be down for that.
Hi. Yeah, I'm like, it should look more like an animated one. Say hi. See, everybody in the world can see. Oh, you just hit your 10,000 steps hugging me.
Oh, I thought that was a Tamagotchi.
Oh, it does kind of sound like a Tamagotchi, doesn't it?
It's this.
Oh, what is it?
It's wait. I'm actually. No, it's my running thing.
Okay. It's her running thing.
Oh, okay.
10,000 step alarm sounds much more impressive for everybody.
Right.
Just
I don't have a 10,000 alarm.
Yes, you do. What are you talking about? We've talked about it. Okay. I'm recording the show. Say hi, everybody. Say hi, Lotus.
Hello.
You're going to shake my hand. Hi.
I have $4,001 on a laptop to me.
She has $4,000 on Roblox, everybody. Go mugger. Go mugger right now. Get out of here. I love you.
They can't rob.
Yeah, I'm just like, Jesus Christ, just make 3D animated movies, man.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck? There's not even people. I think they show like 1 or 2 cavemen during the whole Beast Wars thing, but Jesus, I don't know. But that was all during Hasbro's investor meeting. So, and then we'll skip over Motu real quick because they also announced a brand new G.I. Joe movie coming as well. This is from Joe Shrapnel and Anna Waterhouse. Again, I really need to research. Let's see. They're writers for Amazon's political thriller movie Sedberg. Yeah. No.
I'm tired of hearing about G.I. Joe movies. I feel like we have been talking about G.I. Joe live action movies for probably like 2 years now, but we haven't actually seen anything.
Well, it's crazy how they keep it in the news cycle, at least, right? I mean, again, this is a nerdy.
Well, it's like vaporware. It's vaporware,
Yeah. Well, and last time we were like, oh, they're putting up the balls and they're not pushing back the Snake Eyes movie. Is that good or bad? That kind of thing. Well, they are fucking pushing back the Snake Eyes movie. Possibly. They asked the CEO the question about that, and he said, we're going to produce great branded content for theaters. We're going to see new Transformers movie. We're obviously have Snake Eyes movie coming over next year. So it sounds like he's saying they're going to postpone it, even though they actually haven't officially done it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm kind of with you. Like even Mo2, at least you get a book here or there, or maybe Mo2 Uno. But yeah, even Mo2's been the same way, right? I mean, it's been 6 years since they've been working on a Masters of the Universe movie and still fucking nothing. But what is not nothing, because we get a photo of it here, which looks like it possibly is photoshopped. Masters of the Universe Uno, but we're getting some of that amazing card art, it looks like, hopefully, packaging artwork. So I'm excited for that. My daughter, like one of the few games my daughter will play with me is Uno. So, and we wrote Mom in because it's usually a quick game. But my daughter did, they had what's her favorite game at school last week.
Yeah.
And it was Monopoly.
Really?
But not just Monopoly. It was the Super Mario Brothers edition I bought Mrs. McFavorite for her birthday. Monopoly, or for Christmas, Monopoly. So I thought that was awesome. I'm like, parenting win, especially Miss McFavorite hates Monopoly. The present was almost like this joke gift to try to get her to play more Monopoly with me, because I love it, man. Oh my God. I was a Monopoly fanatic as a kid.
I get excited to play it, but then it just goes on forever.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a party game. You need people like paying attention, because once people start talking and then they're not rolling and then all that, and then you got to be able to make deals too, right? Like you got to be willing to make deals. I've played with people that they just won't trade anything. They won't take a risk on anything. Sorry, what were you saying?
No, I was just saying, no, I know. They just hoard all the properties and
make sure no one gets a Monopoly because they were able to get one of each of all of us, Yeah. It drives me nuts. Like, you got to fucking roll the dice and fucking do it. All right. Well, shit, not too bad. About 15 minutes over. You saw in the last show, we went about a half an hour over, but that last half an hour was more discussion with Mark and Rock more than anything. So, hopefully Jay will be on next time. I was going to ask you, Lotus. I don't know if this is putting you on Front Street, but were you just planning on just doing Mondays with the new schedule? Were you going to kind of keep your Sundays to yourself?
Yeah, I think so. I think just Mondays for now. I got a lot accomplished. Actually, yesterday got a lot done. Worked into the wee hours. Well, at least till sunset, at least. But
well, no, and I think it works out good, because Rock's been kind of like, even at this 8 o'clock time slot for him, he's been like, it's going to be really tough. So if we alternate like that, and you're on one week, he's on the next, and then, like I say, hopefully Jay will be able to join us more regularly. And Vern said he would love to come on with the new format, and I totally forgot. I meant to tell Peter, like, hey, because it used to be Sundays was the only night for him and his lady, but now we're on Mondays. I'd love to have Peter back on the show too. So
yeah.
And again, anybody else, just reach out. I mean, we probably wouldn't just randomly add you to the feed unless you've been active in the group. But even if you're not active in the group and you just like to try podcasting out and want to talk about some of the stuff we're talking about, let us know ahead of time. We'll kind of vet you and add you in. And again, vet you is just make sure you're not going to say the N-word or draw penises on our face or anything. So, but yeah,
that you also means that you have a good microphone. You don't listen to the show at the same time as broadcasting, which causes an echo, which really would upset us. So yeah, there is a little bit of a vetting process.
I guess that's true. Yes, you should have a computer. Although Rock pulls it off with an iPad and a
Well, no,
phone.
yeah, you can
so.
use that. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
All right, guys. Well, we'll see you sooner rather than later.
Or later rather than sooner. Peace.
Peace. That's how you do it, Rock and Mark.
Yeah.